The Galactic Council's grand meeting hall was filled with representatives from every corner of the galaxy. Bright lights shone down from the tall ceiling, and holographic displays showed maps of star systems and various important figures. Different species from planets far and wide were seated in the large circular room, each one more exotic than the next. Some had scales, others had fur, and a few floated in the air like they had no physical body at all. At the center of this room stood the human ambassador, David Carter. He was tall and calm, but the tension in the room was thick. Humans had been invited to this meeting for the first time, and it didn't take long for the conversation to turn into something less friendly. One of the council members, an alien with a long neck and sharp eyes, spoke up. "Humans, such a small and primitive species. You are lucky to even be in this room with us." Laughter echoed through the hall. Several other council members nodded in agreement. They had heard of humans, but only in passing. To them, humans were not important. They were a young species, new to space travel, and not even close to the technological advancements of the other civilizations. A large creature with glowing blue skin, representing one of the most powerful species in the galaxy, leaned forward. His voice was deep and rumbled like thunder. "We have fought wars that lasted centuries. We have tamed the most dangerous planets. What have humans done? You can barely survive on your own planet. You are weak." David stood there listening to the insults. His face remained neutral, but inside, he felt the anger rising. However, he was here for a reason, and getting angry wouldn't help. He glanced at the other human representatives in the room, giving them a small nod, signaling them to stay calm. The alien with the long neck continued. "Do you know about the apex predators of the galaxy? These creatures are the most dangerous in the universe, and none of us have ever been able to tame them. They can destroy entire fleets with ease. If you humans are as advanced as you claim, why don't you go and try taming them?" Again, the room erupted in laughter. They didn't expect an answer. To them, it was a joke. But David's response silenced the room. "We are already working on it." The laughter died down instantly. A few council members exchanged confused glances. Surely this human was joking. Taming the galaxy's apex predators? That was impossible. Even the most advanced species had failed to control those wild and deadly creatures. David continued, his voice steady but strong. "We may be a young species, but we are not weak. Humanity has always thrived in the face of challenges. We don't back down and we don't give up. If taming these predators proves our strength, then that is exactly what we will do." The room fell silent. The council members, who had been so confident moments ago, now looked uncertain. Could it be true? Were the humans really attempting something so dangerous? No one spoke for several moments, trying to process what David had said. Finally, one of the council members, an older alien with silver fur, spoke up. "You are either very brave or very foolish. If you fail, your species will face great losses. And if you succeed, well, I doubt that will happen." David didn't flinch. "We will succeed," he said simply. He didn't elaborate further, leaving the rest of the council members to wonder what exactly the humans were planning. The meeting ended shortly after, and as David walked out with his fellow humans, he could feel the weight of what had just happened. The other species thought humans were weak, and maybe they were right until now. The mission had already begun. Soon, the galaxy would see what humans were truly capable of. As they left the grand hall, David glanced back one last time at the council members. They would regret underestimating humanity. This was just the beginning. Back on Earth, deep within the secret government base, known only to a few, the humans were preparing for their bold mission. This wasn't just any mission. It was their answer to the Galactic Council's insults. It was the humans' chance to prove to the galaxy that they were not weak, not primitive. They were about to attempt something no species had ever done before: tame the galaxy's apex predators. Inside the control room, scientists, military personnel, and animal trainers were gathered, going over the final details of the mission. There was a sense of excitement in the air, but also a heavy tension. Everyone knew the risks. Dr. Sarah Lawson, a brilliant biologist and head of the project, stood at the center of the room. She had spent years studying the galaxy's most dangerous creatures, and now she was ready to face them. "We've studied every predator, every behavior, and every attack pattern," she said, her voice calm but firm. "But none of that guarantees our success. These creatures are unlike anything we've encountered. They are powerful, deadly, and unpredictable. Around her, the team nodded, understanding the dangers. These predators were the stuff of nightmares, huge, unstoppable beasts with claws that could cut through metal and jaws that could crush starships. They lived on remote planets where no one dared to go. But the humans were about to go there. General Mark Davis, a tough and experienced soldier, stepped forward. Our mission is simple. We go in, capture the predator, and bring it back to Earth. Our goal is to study it and find a way to tame it. But make no mistake, this will be the most dangerous mission any of us have ever faced. The team prepared themselves for the journey. They had special equipment designed to capture the predators, but even with all their advanced technology, they knew they were heading into the unknown. The first target was a planet called Vrox 9, home to one of the deadliest creatures in the galaxy, the Vroxian Alpha, a massive beast covered in thick scales, with eyes that could see in every direction and a roar that could shatter rock. As the human team boarded their starship, the Odyssey, there was an air of determination. They knew the Galactic Council was watching, waiting for them to fail. But failure was not an option. The world outside of Earth still underestimated humanity, and this mission would show them what humans could accomplish. The journey to Vrox 9 took several days. The team spent their time reviewing plans, preparing equipment, and training. Everyone knew what was at stake. If they succeeded, humanity would gain respect across the galaxy. If they failed, it could mean death and embarrassment on a galactic scale. When the ship finally entered the atmosphere of Vrox 9, the entire crew was on high alert. The planet was wild, untamed, and full of dangers. Thick jungles covered the land, and strange, screeching sounds echoed through the trees. The team set up their base camp near the edge of a dense forest, where their scanners had detected signs of the Vroxian Alpha. Dr. Lawson gathered the team for one last briefing. Remember, we're not here to fight these creatures. We're here to study them and learn how to tame them. Violence will only make things worse. With that, the team began their mission. They moved cautiously through the thick jungle, their weapons ready but their goal clear. They weren't here to kill, they were here to understand. Suddenly, there was a loud crash from the trees ahead. The ground shook and everyone froze. Out of the shadows stepped the Vroxian Alpha, towering over them like a living mountain. Its massive claws dug into the earth as it let out a bone-chilling roar. The humans stood their ground, but fear crept into their hearts. This was the moment of truth. Would they be able to capture and tame this beast, or would it tear them apart like all those who had tried before? The mission had begun, and there was no turning back. The jungle of Vrox 9 was alive with sounds. Twigs snapped, leaves rustled, and strange creatures called to each other from the shadows. The human team moved quietly, their hearts racing with both fear and excitement. They were on the brink of something big. They were about to face the Vroxian Alpha, a creature that many considered unbeatable. Dr. Sarah Lawson led the way, her eyes scanning the thick foliage. "Stay close, everyone," she whispered. "We need to stick together if we're going to capture it." The team followed closely, each step bringing them closer to their target. They had set up traps and sensors to track the Alpha's movements. But as they approached the clearing where the creature was last seen, the tension in the air grew thicker. Everyone knew this was a turning point. They had to succeed. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the jungle. The sound was deafening and shook the ground beneath their feet. The Vroxian Alpha appeared from behind the trees, its massive form blocking the sunlight. It had bright, piercing eyes and jagged teeth that gleamed like knives. The creature looked at them, curiosity mixed with anger. "Get ready!" General Mark Davis shouted. The team quickly spread out, each member taking their positions around the clearing. They activated their equipment, ready to capture the beast. But the Alpha was not going to make it easy. It charged forward with incredible speed, muscles rippling under its thick, scaly skin. The humans fired their stun nets, but the Alpha dodged and swiped at them with its claws. A few team members stumbled back, barely avoiding its fierce attack. Sarah's heart raced as she realized how close they were to failing. They had trained for this moment, but nothing could prepare them for the raw power of the Alpha. "Focus! We can do this!" Sarah yelled, urging her team on. They regrouped, determination shining in their eyes. They needed a new plan. While the rest distracted the beast, Sarah moved carefully to the side, keeping low. She had studied the Vroxian Alpha extensively and knew that it responded to sound. It was time to put her knowledge to the test. "Now, Mark shouted, and the team launched their nets again. This time, they managed to ensnare the creature's legs, but it thrashed violently, trying to break free. The team worked quickly to secure it. With a deep breath, Sarah activated a device that emitted a high-frequency sound, something the Vroxian Alpha had never heard before. The creature stopped thrashing and turned its head, curiosity shining in its fierce eyes. "Keep it steady," Mark commanded. The team adjusted the nets, their hearts pounding in unison. They were close to success, but they had to stay focused. The high-frequency sound calmed the Alpha just enough for the team to get a harness around its neck. It was a risky move, but they had no choice. The moment they secured the harness, the Alpha let out another powerful roar. This time, however, it wasn't in anger. It was more like a challenge. "Now we've got it!" Sarah shouted, a wave of relief washing over her. The team cheered, their voices echoing through the jungle. They had done what no other species had accomplished. They had captured the Vroxian Alpha. With the beast now under control, they carefully transported it back to their base camp. It was not easy. The creature was enormous and strong. But as they traveled, they felt a mix of pride and disbelief. They were the first humans to tame such a powerful predator. Once back at the camp, the team secured the Alpha in a specially designed containment area. It was a moment of victory, but they knew the real challenge was still ahead. Taming this creature wouldn't be easy. They had to build trust, and that could take time. As night fell, the team gathered around a fire, the excitement still buzzing in the air. They shared stories and laughter, but deep down, they all knew this was just the beginning. The Galactic Council would hear of their success, and they would finally see humans in a new light. Dr. Sarah Lawson looked at her team, feeling proud of what they had achieved. "Tomorrow, we begin the real work. We'll show the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated. We will tame this beast, and together we will prove that humanity can conquer the impossible." The fire crackled, and the stars twinkled above them. In that moment, they felt like true pioneers, ready to take on whatever the galaxy threw their way. As dawn broke over Vrox 9, the team woke to the sounds of rustling leaves and distant roars. They were eager to begin their new challenge, taming the Vroxian Alpha. The sun cast a golden hue over the jungle, and a sense of hope filled the air. However, beneath that hope lay the weight of expectation. They had captured a legendary beast, but now they needed to prove they could tame it. Dr. Sarah Lawson was the first to arrive at the containment area. She looked at the Alpha, which was pacing restlessly in its cage. Its powerful body was still a sight to behold, but the creature's fierce eyes were a reminder of the danger it represented. "Today is the day," she whispered to herself, trying to summon the courage she needed. The rest of the team joined her, each one sharing a mix of excitement and anxiety. General Mark Davis gathered everyone around. "Listen up! Our task today is not just about controlling the Alpha. We have to establish a connection with it. This is the moment we show the galaxy that humans can tame what others fear." With that, the team set to work. They spent hours observing the Alpha's behavior. Sarah noted how it reacted to different sounds and movements. "It's not just a wild beast, it's intelligent," she said. "We need to communicate with it, not just control it." The team decided to use the high-frequency sound that had calmed the Alpha during capture. They played it again, hoping it would help build trust. But this time, the creature was not as receptive. It snarled and thrashed against the walls of its containment. The team's hearts sank. "Maybe it needs time to adjust," suggested one of the trainers. "It's in a new environment, and we just captured it. Let's give it some space." Sarah nodded. "That's a good idea. Let's observe it for a bit." They all stepped back, allowing the Alpha to roam within its space. The jungle was loud, but Sarah focused on the Alpha's movements. She wanted to understand it, to find a way to connect. Hours passed, and as the sun reached its peak, the team was feeling the weight of their task. "What if we can't do this?" one of the scientists said, worry creeping into his voice. "What if we fail?" Mark stepped forward. "Failure is not an option. We're here to change perceptions. We will show the Galactic Council that humans are capable of taming even the fiercest predators." Just then, a sudden noise interrupted their conversation. The Alpha was now focused on them, its eyes sharp and calculating. Sarah's heart raced as she felt the creature's gaze. "I think it's ready to communicate," she said, stepping forward. With cautious movements, she approached the containment area. The Alpha watched her intently. Sarah remembered how animals responded to kindness. She slowly reached out her hand, making soft sounds to soothe the creature. "It's okay," she said softly. "I'm here to help you." To everyone's surprise, the Alpha stopped moving. It tilted its head, seemingly intrigued by her presence. The team held their breath, hoping for a breakthrough. Sarah continued to speak gently, taking another step closer. "Just a little more," she encouraged herself. She opened a small gate in the containment area, knowing it was a risk but believing in the bond they were trying to create. The Alpha's massive form loomed closer, and Sarah felt a mix of fear and excitement. Suddenly, the creature lunged forward. The team gasped, but instead of attacking, the Alpha sniffed her hand cautiously. There was a moment of stillness as if time had stopped. The humans watched in awe. Then, the Alpha stepped back, letting out a low growl that was neither aggressive nor fearful. It seemed to be testing her, gauging her intentions. Sarah's heart raced. "I think it's accepting me," she whispered. Mark couldn't contain his excitement. "That's it! Keep talking to it, Sarah!" With every soft word, Sarah felt the connection growing stronger. The Alpha began to relax, its body language shifting from aggressive to curious. The team cheered, feeling a wave of relief and pride. They were witnessing history in the making. As the sun began to set, the team gathered around Sarah and the Alpha, their hearts swelling with hope. They had taken the first step toward taming a creature that had once been seen as untamable. But they also knew that the Galactic Council was watching. They had a long way to go, but for the first time, they truly believed they could succeed. Together, they would show the galaxy that humanity was not just primitive. They were capable of greatness. And with that belief ignited, they prepared for the challenges that lay ahead, ready to face whatever came their way. The day of the grand demonstration arrived on Vrox 9, and the air was thick with excitement and tension. Humans from all across the galaxy had gathered to witness the incredible feat that Dr. Sarah Lawson and her team had achieved. They were about to showcase the taming of the Vroxian Alpha, a creature known for its ferocity and power. This was not just a test of skill, it was a chance to change how the galaxy viewed humanity. As the crowd gathered, whispers filled the air. Different species exchanged curious glances. Some aliens looked skeptical, while others appeared intrigued. Sarah felt a knot in her stomach as she stepped onto the platform. She could sense the weight of expectations resting on her shoulders. "Remember," General Mark Davis said, standing beside her, "this is our moment. Show them what we can do." His voice was steady, and it helped calm Sarah's nerves. The containment area was set up in the middle of the large gathering. The Vroxian Alpha rested inside, now more familiar with Sarah and the rest of the team. They had spent days building trust, and today was the day to prove it. As Sarah took a deep breath, she could see the Alpha pacing slightly, its eyes sharp and alert. "Ladies and gentlemen, beings of all kinds," Sarah began, her voice echoing across the crowd. "We stand before you today to show that humanity is not primitive. We are capable of greatness and respect. We have come to tame the Vroxian Alpha, a creature that many fear and few have dared to approach." The crowd was silent, waiting in anticipation. Sarah gestured to the Alpha, who was now watching her intently. "This creature, once seen as untamable, is here to demonstrate that connection and understanding can overcome fear." With a nod, Mark activated the device that played the soothing high-frequency sound they had used during the taming process. The sound filled the air, and the Alpha seemed to respond instantly. Its body relaxed, and it focused on Sarah. "Now," Sarah continued, her heart racing, "I will demonstrate the bond we have formed." She stepped closer to the containment area, her voice steady. "Vroxian Alpha, come to me." To the astonishment of the crowd, the Alpha approached the gate. It moved gracefully, a stark contrast to the fierce beast they had once feared. The crowd gasped as Sarah extended her hand, palm up, inviting the creature forward. The Alpha sniffed her hand, then gently nudged it, a sign of trust. The crowd erupted into applause, their skepticism slowly turning to awe. Sarah beamed, feeling a rush of joy and pride. This was not just a victory for her team, it was a victory for humanity. With a swift motion, Sarah opened the gate. "Vroxian Alpha, let us show them your strength." The Alpha stepped out, standing tall beside her. The crowd fell silent again, witnessing the powerful creature willingly at her side. Sarah then signaled to her team. They had set up various challenges to test the Alpha's skills, showcasing its agility and intelligence. With each challenge, the Alpha displayed remarkable abilities, leaping through hoops and navigating obstacles with ease. The crowd was captivated, their cheers growing louder with every display of strength. Then came the final challenge, a test of loyalty. Sarah walked away from the Alpha, who watched her every move. As she called out, "Vroxian Alpha, come!" The creature hesitated for a moment, weighing its options. But then it dashed towards her with incredible speed, standing proudly by her side once more. The crowd erupted into applause and cheers. Sarah felt tears of joy in her eyes. They had done it! They had shown the galaxy that humanity could bond with even the most fearsome of creatures. They had earned their respect. As the cheers echoed around them, Sarah turned to Mark, her heart swelling with pride. "We did it. We really did it!" Mark smiled, a look of satisfaction on his face. "This is just the beginning. We've opened the door to a new understanding between humans and the galaxy." As the sun set over Vrox 9, the stars began to twinkle above, each one representing a world that would now see humans in a new light. No longer would they be seen as primitive or weak. They had proven themselves capable, and with the Vroxian Alpha by their side, they were ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the vast universe. The gathering concluded with a celebration, laughter, and joy filling the air. Sarah knew that this moment would be remembered for generations to come. Humanity had taken its first big step into the galaxy, and they were ready to embrace it with open arms.